Talking about you got this and you got that, and you gonna murder this one and murder that one. Talking all that bullshit. I'm gonna put it to you like this, yo.
This is for the nerds, this is for the brainiacs, this what we deserve. Go ahead and play it back, you ain't gonna touch me, you not gonna do nothing, you are not above me. I bet you wish you was me, I know it, I know.
What is poppin', everybody? And welcome back to another special episode of the Only Friends podcast. Well, you know, it's me and my only friends, which includes, but is not limited to, Sir Sylvia. What's poppin', baby?
How are you?
How you feeling today?
Wonderful.
You chilling?
Yeah.
Just another day in the life?
Just another day in the life.
Ask him why he's late.
Why are you late?
My coffee order went horribly awry.
Oh, no.
Boy. On the way over here. It actually, so I don't know if this is worth telling the whole story.
No.
But they screwed it up multiple times.
Yeah, tell this story without being a snob. Go ahead.
Are you gonna out the establishment? Or?
So no, definitely not. They make really good coffee and they're super cool. But I'm the only person there, and they take my order, and then after 5 minutes, I order it hot, and they're like, "Did you want that hot or iced?" Like, they clearly made it iced, you know?
Yeah, right.
And then I wait like 5 more minutes, and she gives me this like tiny little coffee. I was like, I got the large, and she's like, "Oh, okay." And that's the whole story.
Down
Right.
bad. You know, when we went to Starbucks the other day, they messed up my coffee. They put some sweetener in it. It was really upsetting.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah,
if you don't want sweetener and you get sweetener, it sucks.
It was down bad for a minute.
Yeah.
Real down bad. What's poppin', Burke? How you feeling?
Now, hold on. I went to the store this morning. I went to the fridge downstairs.
Can somebody fucking turn off his mic for a second?
I went to the fridge downstairs and I got this nice drink. And I asked the owner of said drink, I said, hey, can I have this?
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't say anything. He just looks at me like I'm somehow in the wrong for asking if I can take something from the fridge where I know there's extra. And looks at me like this. He's just on his computer.
You know there's extra, you say.
He's on it. Yeah, there's more than one.
Nah.
Yeah, there's two that I took.
He
that I'm
takes two
taking
from
to the
the house.
Bellagio.
So he looks at me like this. He goes.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, like I'm sorry for asking.
To be fair, I was gonna say something, but I didn't. But now I will. He does take two from the house every day. That you do say.
Yeah, every day, because I think of myself and I take care of
Maybe you
myself.
should think about others.
Yeah.
God, this fucking conversation.
Yeah, I should also take care of your ghostly needs every single day.
And my ghostly needs.
Uh-huh.
The ghost-
At least take care of his fatherly needs.
Right, yeah. Someone has 3 cases of Ghost at the house who makes sure that, you know, he's well stocked every day, and then the other person's Landon.
Oh, I didn't understand the drink was called Ghost, and I was trying to figure out this thing.
Ghostly needs.
I was like, technically, Landon's the furthest of us away from being a
Have
ghost.
you opened that yet?
I've had a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Why?
I was afraid it was going to explode. I dropped it.
It was only tiny.
I thought he was gonna
could
ask for
see
it
that.
back.
The can.
I didn't even drop it. Like, I fumbled it bad. It was like I was bobbling it between my hands, and as I went to go grab it, I actually just spiked it on the ground.
Is this your segue to getting into Steelers football?
No. You stepped all over that many times minutes ago. I'll actually stick a pin in Steelers football and celebrate here down the line a little bit. But before we get to all that,
I can't believe you look so mean.
there is a beautiful boy out there who needs a new home. He's on death row for no good goddamn reason, other than Vegas is just inundated with shelter dogs and there's nowhere to put him.
Oh, look at him.
Eddie, 7 years old, sweet boy, currently being fostered by Lily Newhouse and Jamin, needs a home. So if anybody out there is looking for an adorable pit pup, I mean, not really a pup, but a well-behaved...
They're all pups.
They're all pups.
always pups.
A well-behaved dog. I'll happily volunteer to babysit anytime you need. I saw somebody else in Thread offered $250 to donate to anybody who adopts if it goes to a good home. I'm happy to pitch in on that as well, but I can't take him myself. I already have 3.5 plus whatever you consider Landon.
I'm a dog, bro.
He does got that dog in him.
The house is full.
That was good.
That was pretty good.
I was taught.
Somebody said Landon's the half. Jamie's Jamie's dog's the half. Too many pups, but he's a beautiful boy. I'd like to have him.
He's
Wish
a
I
good
could.
boy.
I'd foster
Thank
for a
you.
little while. Bro, this is
You'd end up keeping.
you are not the main character of this story, buddy.
You know the funny part about it is, if he was to get along with Pip,
you
and
can get along fine for sure.
then he'd just be fine. He just
No, like people say that. Have you seen since we've gotten Pip, who's now 8 months
8
old?
months, yeah.
Okay.
Pretty big now.
Since we've gotten her, the additional amount of dirt carried through the house.
We're talking about an 8-month-old and a 7-year-old.
It doesn't matter.
Gatsby doesn't do all that.
That's because Gatsby can barely get his old ass outside.
Yeah, but
Scotty
A
does it.
spry 7-year-old
Newt
would be
does that.
Right,
be
yeah.
fine.
Well,
Yeah.
they're children.
Newt's paws are shovels. It's honest to God. It's like when he walks, he like picks up dirt and holds on to it until he comes in the house to release.
Yeah.
It's so true.
How many people / dogs do you guys have at the house right now?
3 dogs,
4 people.
4 people.
3.5.
3.5. Yeah, Landon's kind of on his way out. Keeps taking my fucking ghost. Rude
Oh, I took
awakening.
it the other way.
Yeah, he wasn't thinking about that.
Of course you did, buddy.
Yeah.
I know.
Michelle keeps like talking about, well, we should just get a 3rd dog, and I'm just like, no.
No, you
Like,
you
you
need
could
one
definitely
real
get one.
dog. You have 2 fucking fake dogs.
It's true.
what are you talking
Rude.
about?
You got 8-pound
Just 'cause-
yappers.
Listen, they do yap a little bit, not that much. Listen, Ollie's not an 8-pound. He's 19 pounds.
Oh my God.
Okay, little Toto, right? Little Karen Terrier.
Yeah.
The other one,
He's thick.
the other one, Charlie. He's he's
4.5.
yeah. No, he's like 9. He's probably like 9 or 10 pounds. But
You
they're
pretty
just-
much have cats, bro.
listen. I wish. Right?
I love cats.
Cats take care of themselves. These
I love
dogs do
cats.
not take care of themselves.
Let's get a doggy
I told
dog.
her we can get another one. She just has to choose which one we're getting rid of.
Huge cat fan.
Jesus.
Which one do you think is on the chopping block?
Sorry, Charlie.
Wow.
No.
Cats are nice, man.
I'm not parting with either one, so we're stuck with 2.
You love cats.
You
do.
I tolerate cats.
No, you don't. You love Chauncey.
I've
You
never
admitted
liked.
you love Chauncey.
I've never
Chauncey's
liked
great.
a cat until Chauncey's personality, and then I just liked his personality that he's more like a dog, and I still don't like cats.
Did I tell you that I was here working one night and there was just a random cat in here?
Yeah, because you left the back door open.
Wait,
Cat in the
right?
what did you
No,
say?
I had Pip here. And I left the back door open. And I just hear this like huge crash downstairs. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like having a heart attack. And I run downstairs because like there was something like that was hanging on the wall that got knocked over.
How many times did you say hello before you went down there?
0.
You've had
I-
more incidents
I knew
of
the front
like
door was
thinking
locked.
that you're getting attacked or the house broken into for it just to be a random animal.
Yeah, this
in your
happened
house.
in
Right.
Pittsburgh as
Yeah,
well. Right?
with the raccoons.
Your
Oh my
raccoon
God.
family.
Can we hear the rest of the story?
Those fucking raccoons. So I go down there and there's this black and white cat, like this Oreo looking cat just hanging out. It was so not like Chauncey. Chauncey sees a human being. He's like in the rafters.
Yeah.
This cat was just like, love me.
It's their cat.
Did you give him a bowl of Oreo Zero?
No,
Coke Zero?
no, we were all out, unfortunately.
Guapo drank them all.
You didn't sacrifice one of your 2 ghosts for the cat? Come on, man.
Yeah, but
Only for Landon.
what about
You
his
know?
ghostly needs?
Yeah, only for Landon.
Well, let's hope that cat found his way back home.
Yeah,
I
next
wanted
door.
to keep him, but I was like, he's probably a neighbor, so I
Yes.
just put him gently outside and closed
Cats
the
are
door.
great. You feed them, you give them what they need, they do their thing, and they come back. And if they want to be held, they come to you. And if they don't, they leave you alone.
Yeah, but also
Yeah.
when they want to be held, you're not allowed to do anything else. you gotta add that in too.
What are you
That's how it
trying to
works.
do, big guy?
What do you mean?
What qualifies as else?
Like they won't let you can't do anything else. Like it'll just be on you until it wants to leave.
Yeah, like it'll sit on your keyboard. But
What are you
honestly,
talking
Berkey,
about?
you're making a lot of good points. I'm not gonna lie.
I thought this was gonna be another Men in Black conversation.
Oh, come on, man. Look, I tried and I failed. All right?
Happens.
He was wearing blue.
We talking
and he is
MIB
black.
today?
Speaking of men in black and gold, how about them Steelers?
How about them
No.
Steelers?
Yeah.
Why does everyone sound happy about the Steelers?
Why wouldn't they?
We're fucking miserable.
American
Jesse, if you
Steelers.
look to the left and then look to the right, you'll see 2 and you look to the left again or whatever.
No, I understand that, but I also recently purchased a piece of a sports bet that we are all a part of.
Right.
and I'm pretty sure we were supposed to be rooting against the Steelers.
Yeah, we have some
you
friends that are
should be
dumb.
rooting against the Steelers, but my heart is bigger than my wallet.
That's
And it's going to stay
more-
that fucking way.
It's gonna stay that way.
That's fact.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fair, but my wallet is angry at your heart.
It's okay.
I mean, how much
Listen,
was
the
it?
Steelers are never losing that game, no matter how hard you root.
Of course. And how much was it really worth? A few $1,000.
Yeah.
I made that in my parlay.
Maybe a few $1,000 per
What?
per
what?
entry. Like there were 16 people that picked the Steelers.
Okay.
Like
Listen,
4,000 per.
if there's $2,000 on one side and there's all of your hearts on the other side,
Yeah.
which one do you think I'm going to pick?
Step on the motherfuckers' hearts.
I don't know,
Tell him,
man.
Conrad.
Hearts are worth
Tell
a
'em.
lot in the black market.
What an asshole.
Ooh, that's a good
Ooh,
point.
The,
good
um,
point.
I think each entry was worth 66,000
So
coming in. So 66,000
So like
times
$9,500
16 is it would have been a million.
10K.
It'd have been $1 million split up between the rest of the pool, which is like what?
It's like 10K.
180 people or something.
10K.
A little bit less.
So would you rather
Do you
have
guys
had
want to
this-
know how much I would need to root against
Yeah,
the Patriots?
$5,800 or something.
Not that much money, I'm sure.
25 cents.
Less.
It's not even.
Ah, come on, man. I'm not that cheap. I need at least a couple bucks. but-
$3.
yeah.
It was literally
One coffee.
It was literally the equivalent of my parlay.
Yeah, it was like $120 for me.
Yeah.
I don't care about the $120.
Yeah.
Of
Go
fake
Steelers.
EV
Right. Yeah.
that I can't even cash in. Can't even hedge
cash
it.
in. Yeah. Can't
What-
even realize.
Do you
the
think there's
CV.
an amount of money where, like, if it was 25K or the Steelers win?
I mean, like you're literally paying me $25,000 for a Steeler loss.
Survivor pool money.
No, like Survivor Pool money's not real.
100K.
It's not real.
That's not what Landon told me when I bought a piece of his.
That's the end of the deal, baby.
What are you talking about? It is real if you sell it to Jesse.
Yeah.
That's true.
Unbelievable.
outside-
You want
investments.
part of my piece?
No, you
This is
love
the
the
long
people.
con. You talked about the long con earlier. Get me on the podcast for like 4 months.
Yeah, right. Just
Like,
to-
hey man, you want
just
to buy a piece of
offload
my
it- just
fake
to offload
football
his-
money?
You love the sweat.
I do.
You love the group chat.
Football is
fucking
fun
great.
again for me. I don't know what happened this year, but I just had watched a lot less football and just like throwing on Red Zone and seeing there were 3 games like back to back to
Yeah.
back
More
where
maybe,
we had
yeah.
nice sweats going
Right.
on. We actually won all 3.
There was
too.
like I think like
Wait,
coming
no.
down to it, there were 6 games that was like a 1-score game.
yeah, it was
Cleveland, Baltimore, we won.
Pats, Jets, and
Yep.
Dolphins
you're
lost
right.
as well.
Dolphins
yeah.
also
Yeah.
Cardinals.
How many people had Dolphins?
7. It was like 7-7 and like 7 or something like this.
Okay,
like 20 people or whatever lost or out of the pool.
That was nice.
So we will salute you and say thank you for your service, but now your time has ended.
Yes, we've increased our equity by 10%. So we're
See, Jesse?
Could have been 20 if you guys would root for the right team.
I
if
rooted for the
Lamanna's
right team.
heart wasn't an issue for us.
Lamanna.
I rooted for
Sorry,
the right
Lamanna.
team. I got a 60-1 parlay, and I fucking
So
cashed that
tilting.
bad boy in.
Unbelievable,
tilting.
Bart.
The Weekend Warrior champion
Guapo
is here.
steamed.
Dude, I'm so pissed. Like, I'm over
He
here
is
doing
so
things according to me by the book. I'm taking nice $50
Fuck
You're
your book.
so bad at
and,
this.
you know, just knowing that at the very end I'll still have a roll, so I can go ham the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
fucking guy.
Yeah, I'll see you there.
Wait, did Berkey win the parlay that Efro was just?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Yes, he did.
goodness.
Smashed it. Fucking smashed it.
I wouldn't say you smashed it.
Smashed
Nah,
it.
he smashed it.
Smashed
Smashed it by
He
3
smashed
yards.
And by smashed it, he literally wrote in the chat, "Does special teams count for my parlay?"
Yeah.
Not realizing that it counted.
He also thought he had
No.
Steelers minus 3.5.
I did
and
think it was
minus.
were they minus 3.5 last week? When were they minus 3.5?
I don't know. I
You
don't
had a
know.
-6 for
I have no-
sure.
It was
No,
minus
yeah,
6,
I saw that now.
You said Steelers -6. That's free. We're just gonna put that in there right
Yeah,
now.
because the
Well, it is.
Steelers drove down and they kicked the field goal that made us put them up 11, and I was like, oh, Burke. I was like, that sucks because like if you get a garbage time touchdown from, the Giants, you're gonna lose. And he's like, no, it's 3.5. I'm like, no, and he's like, oh shit, but don't worry, it all worked out real nice.
The defense came to play,
Yes, they
boys.
did.
Najee came to play.
Najee came to play.
Najee higher, lock and fucking load. Another 100-yard game.
Rush was unlimited.
Russ, he cooked. I'm not gonna
He
lie.
really did. He
Yeah.
has been fucking cooking.
He's
Watching him
cooking,
yesterday,
man.
I was like, oh my God, why isn't he a giant?
That was beautiful.
He made some really nice throws.
That was
Nice
beautiful
down
right
the
here.
field passes for
And
sure.
this is what I said. I was like, he still is an accurate thrower, and of course last week he hadn't played forever. He's going to be rusty. He looks a lot better this week. Hopefully, he looks even better after the bye.
Calvin Austin cooked, got me the special teams touchdown as well as another. He added another one on. So yeah, fucking what a lock, man!
Have you
what
got
a lock?
What were the
Defense,
odds
special
that
team.
you got on this bet,
60-1, Guapo.
6-0?
Yeah, and
61-1.
And he did not bet it.
61.5-1.
Oh my God! Yeah, how did you not go put like $100 on that?
I wasn't super comfortable with.
Well, 60-1s are
also,
60-1s.
I don't have access to DraftKings.
DraftKings. Yeah, but you can do same game parlays on.
No, he actually couldn't put the exact parlay in anywhere in Las Vegas.
Really?
Because I'm pretty sure that all the books in Las Vegas aren't special teams. It's only defense.
No, I don't think that's
or
true.
only special teams. I
don't think that's true. I think D special teams is very common. That's why I asked.
It used to be very common.
Well, that's how it is for
sports
lineups,
books.
like fantasy lineups. Like you get defense and their special teams.
I mean, from someone who puts in like 10-team parlays every week, I think Conrad would know.
Wait, are you guys
You're right. You would think that.
Funny
Brian.
part.
You would
I've
think
actually
that.
never picked a defensive special teams touchdown.
maybe that's
Never
the
in my
problem.
life.
And there you have it.
You should always pick the
Oh
Steelers.
yeah, you guys should always pick the defensive special teams.
Man.
Shut the fuck up. all
It's a
of you.
lock. It's a lock.
Guap, I almost hit mine too. I just needed that Muth touchdown, which I thought I was going to get, but we fell a little short. But I was still
I
very
didn't
happy
want
for
to. I didn't
Berkey,
want to break
obviously.
your heart when you were talking about it on Friday, but Russ does not historically fun
doesn't-
tight ends.
He doesn't?
No,
Yeah, remember he had who did he used to throw to all the time?
no one.
Will
He
Disley?
had Granger, Jimmy Granger for a time.
Jimmy
Yeah, Jimmy
Grangler.
Graham.
Jimmy
I
Graham.
was thinking
but-
Danny Granger.
Will
Basketball
Disley.
player.
Yeah. Go and see how their careers panned out with Russ.
They did all right.
Jimmy Graham was
Will
You
Disley
wouldn't bet him.
is on Seahawks chilling.
It's funny because I was like, I wonder like what's more likely, a defensive touchdown or Muth touchdown, which I think is probably close.
I definitely think it's
like who has
defensive.
more throughout the
The
year?
odds certainly
Defensive.
weren't close.
The odds were not close.
The
It's harder-
defensive touchdown was gonna be way longer odds
Was it?
for sure.
Yeah.
It was like 550 to 1 or something like that.
But
that what it was?
if
Plus
you were-
550 rather?
If you were to look at the season totals, I'm pretty sure your defense has more
Is it?
touchdowns for
Not
fire
this
modes.
year. That was the first one.
Really?
Yeah, I agree. Like I constantly feel like betting it because they turn the ball over so much.
Right.
But
That was
yeah, they
their
haven't.
first one?
Tough to get
it
a
feels
defensive
like
touchdown.
2 weeks ago they got stopped at the 1.
Man, it
Whenever,
really feels like they've had a couple. Last year they had a bunch.
Benny Bishop had 2 interceptions, and the second one got returned to the 1 yard line.
Last year they had a bunch of return for touchdowns.
Well, they had a lot of scoop and scores from fucking JJ, baby,
Yeah,
who
okay.
got another strip sack last night.
Fucking
You know how that
bullshit.
goes. TJ, sorry, yeah. We should have JJ too. How's he not come out of retirement and just take the other side?
That would have been dope.
Oh,
That would have been
right?
so fucking cool.
Yeah.
Last year he could have played for us, and both of his brothers would have been on the roster.
That'd have been so dope.
Insane.
Instead, he's like, "Fuck this, I'm over you guys."
Yeah, he just tweets about it. Good for him.
So you guys had a couple turnovers?
Yeah.
Like-
2 fumble recovers, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe an interception too.
We had an
I thought
interception
I
at the
saw
end of the
a
game.
pick.
Yeah,
we ended the game with an interception.
Yeah.
Interception.
Bishop again.
Four sacks, maybe.
Yeah, fucking mashing, baby.
Yeah.
Going into the bye week. You guys get a full week reprieve, not having to hear about Steelers football. I'm going to have to bet on the election this week. How perfect.
I know,
by the
right?
way.
Yeah.
The Steelers go on bye the week of the election,
Right.
so I just get to hammer
Exactly.
fucking Polymart bets.
I wonder where you're gonna go with it.
I'm
Bert.
betting Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Yeah.
For Donald,
I don't know. What are
you'll
the
get long odds.
Okay.
I
You'll get a
got,
lot of
I'm going to get
odds.
some long odd parlays.
If he
in
wins
there.
Hawaii, he's gonna win all
I might-
50 states.
Maybe I might just parlay all the swing states with the overall election.
yeah.
That could be the play.
Yeah.
We're in
I don't know
a,
if you can parlay them though.
we're in a
Yeah,
sticky
pretty
situation
correlated,
this
you're right.
weekend.
Why?
The games don't look good,
Is this week 10?
dude. It's
Week nine.
week 9.
Oh no, week 10 is our bad week.
It's Houston Jets, New Orleans Carolina, Miami Buffalo, Denver Baltimore,
Okay.
Dallas Atlanta,
Okay.
Chargers Cleveland, New England Tennessee, Washington Giants,
I think we were on Chargers. But go
and
on.
Raiders Cincinnati.
We
Oh
can
no, we're Washington.
Since Chicago, Arizona, and Jacksonville. Eagles.
It'll either be Chargers or
Did
Washington.
we take the
This week?
Bengals already?
Yeah. No.
We don't want Bengals minus 7.5.
I never
at home
won
against the
Bengals.
Raiders.
Have you
so
seen the down bad
scary.
Bengals?
Maybe.
Oh, Minnesota versus
They're not
the
that bad.
Colts might not be the worst.
Yeah, there's plenty of options.
It's scary. It's not. It hasn't been feeling like the last couple
When is
weeks.
minus
Week
7.5
9 every
scary?
week is scary, huh?
When is the minus 7.5 scary?
every week.
Bengals versus Raiders.
Trap game, bro.
Go look at
he doesn't know about trap games.
Go look.
Atlanta.
You just think the number of the minus is like that means that team's definitely gonna win. Like go
That's
look at
normally how the minuses work. Yes.
no,
No,
it's
the
not.
money
Man.
line is what matters.
It's all money line.
Points are to try to get an even distribution on both sides.
Like, yes,
there's
they're
the money line.
they're
That's why they
favored by
move.
that.
There's the money.
Okay,
the money
so
line moves
it's
too.
Vegas.
Not as much.
It's Vegas plus 290.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Okay.
Well, I mean, they were -7. It was always going to be pretty good.
I think the money. I think the point spread and the money line correlate pretty consistently, right? Like if the
For the most part,
yeah,
yes.
if the
And
points
I don't
move,
know.
the money line moves, and they're always right around the same thing. Like you're not going to see a -7, and then like a bunch like 2 -7 teams like games, and then the money line be like really different.
no,
Yeah,
that's
they
wrong.
have to correlate.
That's wrong.
No,
I
they
think.
definitely correlate, but I've definitely seen some disparity between like -7.
You're saying like one is -7, and then it's like minus like 300 or whatever it is, 250, and then the other one's -7.
a
and
different
it's
money
350.
line. Yes.
Well, like
maybe not that egregious, but like
well, this one's Bengals -7.5, money lines plus 290, and then Saints Panthers. Panthers at home, it's Saints -7, and it's Carolina plus 260.
yeah,
So it's difference between 30.
yeah. I mean
For half a
that's
point.
notable,
Yeah, no, for sure.
right?
But
I definitely think they like.
You're looking at the wrong side of the money line, though, for what it's worth.
Yeah, because it'd be
You're looking at
minus
the plus side.
325.
I mean, it doesn't really matter. You need to find you need to find the Vig free line either way.
okay, so Bengals are minus 380, and then Saints are minus 320. But sure, you still need the Vic free line.
Right. Yeah.
But
But yeah, it sounds like Bengals
I
might
don't
be
know.
the
It seems like a good.
Bengals might be the spot.
It seems like a decent.
Bengals
This week,
scare us.
who they play?
The Raiders.
We've lost 9
Wait a
entries
minute.
on the Bengals.
Or we could take the Eagles, right? Because we didn't take them last time. It's Eagles, Jaguars, Eagles at home.
Yeah, that's an option. That'll be where Sam's at for sure.
That's scary.
Hold
I
on.
mean, I have
so
to talk him
what
out
I'm
of
saying
it.
when it comes to like picks and things you can choose, like a lot of -7 pluses are on the table for us. How is
Yeah.
this a scary week?
It's not.
Okay.
Next week,
next
right?
next week
Or the week after, yeah.
Eagles.
Week 10 we have very limited options.
Our -7s aren't good teams. That's the only thing.
Yeah, no shit.
But Vegas
That's
picks
the way
a-
it's been the last few weeks. Like these teams have all been blowouts. Denver
this
won
is-
by fucking 5
the Eagles
touchdowns.
I mean,
have
they
been
played
playing-
Carolina. It was a
The
different
Eagles have
story.
been playing good football.
They
I assume this is like
Played decent
the
this
whole
week.
pool, like whoever's left, they're going to be running into these situations, right? They keep using teams, they keep have less teams, you're going to have less good options. So then
Not according
Well,
to Andy.
yeah.
According to Andy, they've all saved their best teams, and we are the only one who's used winning teams so far. That's why he got out, man.
I mean, to be fair, Berkey, you're on the same side in a way.
I just
Like you're
give
talking
a
shit.
gentle reminder that we've used like 7 of our top 10 teams in the first 8 weeks.
Yeah, I'm just saying you're talking shit, but you feel the same way in a way.
I don't feel the same way. I just know that at some point we're gonna have to pick fucking against Carolina with a 2-win team.
But at some point in the survivor pool, you're just going to have to gamble.
Yeah.
are we going to have to pick a dog
You're
at
always
some point?
gambling.
No,
You
we're not-
gamble every week. No, not necessarily, but like there's a lot of talks of people taking Pittsburgh on Christmas to be contrarian.
Well, I guess where I was
They might
going
win
with
that
that
game.
was at some point you can't always have a -5+ team.
Yeah,
for
of
the
course.
survivor pool.
Of course. That's why a lot of people busted the Seattle week, because if you didn't have Seattle, which a lot of people used them week 1, then a lot of the pool was forced to take like a sub -4 favorite, with the exception of people who took KC, like us.
I thought that was pretty smart.
Well, that's because Seattle lost.
You know, Christmas falls on a Wednesday, so it'll be a Wednesday game.
I did not.
Yeah, it's weird, right?
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah,
NFL every day, baby.
right.
They're in your.
Yeah,
They're in your.
I think
grill.
they play that previous Saturday. They play Saturday and then Wednesday, which is kind of like playing Sunday then Thursday.
That's pretty
so,
dumb.
Yeah,
That's dumb.
I love survivor pool so much. I want to do this every year for the rest.
we
of my
will do it
existence.
every year.
It's fun.
Okay,
I
so
wonder if they.
next year you put in 10 entries, I'll put in 10 entries, and we'll get a real fucking pool going.
Now
in.
we're talking.
Yeah,
I'll put in 10 entries too.
Yeah,
How many entries did you guys all do?
10 total.
Yeah, we did 10.
The
back
most
to back.
I've heard about it is a group doing like 96.
I feel like
What? How 96?
What do you mean?
it should be 100.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I get what you're saying, but like it was just a.
They ran
Sometimes
out.
you run out of money,
You
man.
ran out of funds, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how many picks they
bankroll
had
on the
in,
table.
or teams they had in.
They broadened the survivor pool.
Yeah.
Jesse was probably a part of that actually.
No, Jesse's part of our
I
pool now.
think we could talk about the names after, but I think I was.
Yeah.
we had a couple rough ones where we had like Started with like 100 teams and had 7 after 2 weeks or something.
That's paid.
That was this year?
No, it was years back.
Jesse's just everybody's exit liquidity.
Yeah.
I'm buying, baby.
No, I was their entrance liquidity that year.
Right, okay.
There was no exit. We were out after 2 weeks, Berkey.
Hey man, I love my survivor pool position. Thanks to my good friend investor,
Yeah.
wise guy, lucky guy, Magic the Gathering enjoyer.
We're
Happy to be your huckleberry of all sorts.
You know, we're just gonna wait just because we have Jesse money
I was
involved.
thinking the same thing.
Like he just bought in late. Like it's like one of those stupid things.
Oh, you're definitely going to win.
He just buys it at the top. Like we just win.
If you guys don't tip me after you guys win this thing, like it will be embarrassing for you guys.
Balls
I'm just
on this
saying,
guy.
it's
We'll
very
get him a
clear.
martini and he can
There's like-
recreate the picture.
Him being in the group chat's like one of the most insufferable things on earth.
That's the only reason I signed up is so I could harass Berkey in the
he's
group
like
chat
Danielle.
with questions.
He there's no way if you put his feet to the fire, there's no fucking chance he could name all 32 NFL teams. But somehow this idiot has just been following a team that went to the Super Bowl 9 times in the course of his life. And it's like, why? Why do you deserve any level of happiness, you fair weather fan?
Wait,
The best answer
he
wa-
said something about like, I never had to root against the Steelers. I'm like, the Patriots played them like 15 times in the AFC Championship game.
It was always it was
Yeah,
never
but
a sweat.
I didn't have to root.
It was
Right.
never
It
a
was
sweat.
too easy. I didn't need to do.
The best
right into
response
that one.
was,
Yeah.
"Wait, it was only 9 times."
Yeah, I honestly thought it was more. I thought we had been in the Super Bowl more than 9 times.
Was that not a troll?
No, I mean it felt
He
like
doesn't fucking know. He doesn't know. He barely pays attention to life. The fact that we have him disconnected from his phone for even a minute to listen to this conversation is remarkable. Usually you talk to Jesse and then you have to spend another 5 minutes catching him up on what you just said.
I've been there.
I love coming on here mostly because Berkey's so flattering. So
Yeah, right. Exactly.
That was only episode 1, man. After that, it was all downhill.
This is as nice. This is as nice as he gets.
Right.
Ask Landon.
Yeah.
I prefer it this way because when I came on the first time, I felt like Berkey was trying to be a good host and he was like complimentary, and now I'm just like, all right, we're getting the real feelings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
This is
Just
good.
wait.
This is
just
what-
This
wait.
is healing, guys.
Yeah, soon the podcast is gonna start. You're just gonna start cursing him out about something like Ghost or something.
Yeah.
It's
Don't
just
take
only a
his
matter of
ghost and
time.
don't take his pork, and he'll be. It's like-
And definitely never, ever limp with kings.
Don't fucking get me started. I was just complaining to Jamin about that the other day.
oh my god.
The meetup game.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Some friend, he comes to the fucking meetup game to snipe his boy.
Yeah, that's what I did.
You VPipped, right? Voluntarily put the money in the pot.
Yeah, we were all having a good time.
Let's not talk about
Okay.
that, Brian.
We were all having a good time while old man Coffee over there is laying in the fucking weeds.
You see him, Mark? You
Quite
take him
honestly,
down.
this is all on you because you should have expected that. Once that limp came in, you're
My
like,
bad.
"Oh, that nigga got it."
My bad.
It was like an over limp.
I know. It's
like
so
the
crazy.
fourth-
Got to be king.
Honestly,
It's like the 4th person to put money in the pot.
hey man, he saw value. He knew that you couldn't let that free money stand.
Fuck him.
It was a very good point. Very good point. He owed you.
All you had to do was check, and then you would have.
I actually think
No, not Chav's like cutoff or something. I had 2 4s.
You were not in the cutoff. You were in the small blind.
No, I wasn't.
You were in the small blind or the big blind?
You want to bet this?
No, I do
Let's
not.
bet the size of the pot.
How can you bet it?
The size
Because
of
it's
the
on
pot was-
Jamin's vlog.
There
Is
was
it?
like eight.
Yeah.
There was like $8 in the middle.
Listen.
No, I doubled you for 300
All right,
and some.
guys,
No, hold
stop.
on a second.
$100
Hold on.
right now. We can pull it up and we can get an answer.
I
Hold
agree.
on a second.
Let's do it.
Hold on a
$100.
sec- All right, hold on a second.
Well, but you don't have to talk this out. Just bet.
Yeah.
What is the bet?
That I was not in the small or big blind.
No. I'm not betting that. It's the size of the pot. I'm definitely willing to bet on.
What do you mean?
I'm saying there was like $8 in the pot.
Well, we
I
know
doubled
that.
you up for 300.
You what?
I doubled you up for 300.
Right.
what?
There was
We know
somebody,
there's $8.
Somebody hold on a second. Somebody limped in.
It was 2-5, right?
I over limped.
Yeah.
It maybe had one other person in there. It got to you and you stuck in $320
Yeah.
into a $6 pot.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
keep
that
calling
sounds
it
like a
stuff.
pretty good limp. Very effective limp
Right,
right there.
Yeah. If you're a complete scumbag.
That's what I am. I'm a scumbag.
Scumbaggery aside, that was a fantastic limp
knew
spot.
that Matt Berkey put $300
Well,
into a $6 pot.
To be fair,
I should have turned my hand over and said, "Hey, you know what? Win this pot because I don't want to be called a
Wait.
scumbag."
Time the fuck out. You just said I somehow knew Matt Berkey was going to put $300 in the pot. Yes, you did know that, but that's why you limped.
Of course.
How the fuck would I know that?
Of course.
I mean, I would do the same thing if I knew he was going to do that.
I would
You
be
know
playing
what?
cash for the rest of my life.
Matt's just unhappy because that's no limit, baby.
Yeah, you cooked him.
It's no limit,
what-
baby.
what
Guapo
were the
played the
blinds?
man.
Raise your fucking hand.
Guapo played the man.
What were the
Yeah.
blinds?
1-2.
1-2.
That's a great limp. That's a great fucking limp right there.
The world versus Matt Berkey.
There's just no justice in this world. No fucking fours to be found. No bad runouts.
In all seriousness, can I ask you a
Yeah.
question?
Yeah.
You didn't want to check and try to make a set?
I was not in a position to check. I had to voluntarily put money in. And no, I wanted pain.
You got
Wait,
it.
And
what?
I got it.
Well, that's fair.
Hosts don't check.
Yeah, hosts don't check. Have you guys ever hosted a meetup game before?
No.
we
Okay,
don't check.
they give you money to put it in the pot.
It wasn't even
No,
your
pe-
money?
No, people don't come
Well,
out
at
to
that
play
point it
poker with
was.
me, Berkey. They come out to hang out with my
Guapo, he's
wife.
complaining about losing
They
his
don't wanna see
promotional
me.
money to you.
No, at that point it was my money. I lost $3K that day. They only gave me $1,500.
You
Right.
and meetup games. People do well off of you in meetup games.
Right.
Yeah.
So you,
Wait,
you
hold
That's because
on.
I'm a good host.
I feel like you're up infinite in fucking 1-2 and 2-5 meetup games. You won like
Maybe.
11K at MGM or something stupid.
Yeah, it was bad.
It was a 1-2.
A lot of that was
no
Landon's-
cap game.
a lot of that was Landon's
Guapo,
money,
can we
though.
get that Winnie the Pooh meme where he's in the tux?
Yeah.
And have the top one be like Berkey losing money in meetup games, and then Rich Berkey, and it's like being a good host in meetup games.
That's a good one.
I got you.
That's a strong one right there. Yeah, I feel like you're up infinite. I feel like you won a shitload at the win that one night when we ran like 2 or 3 tables.
You want to know why? Because the people I invite to those games don't
here we
fuck
go.
around and
Here
limp
we
kings trying to set me up for failure.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
My whole drive over there, I was like, oh, I already know what's going to happen.
100%.
I'm going to get dealt
failure.
kings. There's going to be $6 in the pot, and I just know Berkey's going to put 300 into the middle.
To be quite
You knew
honest
I
with
was
you.
going to juice it, otherwise you wouldn't have limped.
I knew you were going to juice it. I
Well,
didn't think you were going to put 300 fucking dollars in the middle.
The point remains. You are
Yes,
you're
you win.
coming
You-
after the
you-
host
you
here.
are correct.
You're coming after the host here.
I'm
laying the
after
trap.
host. Listen to the verbiage you're using.
Right.
Jesus Christ.
You're supposed to be-
Verbiage.
You're supposed to be my friend.
You're not supposed to play poker. You're supposed to just
no, you are
telegraph your hand.
You are supposed to play poker.
Right.
You're
So
not supposed to set up.
Raising.
Trapping's not part of the game.
No,
No?
not when it's your friend.
Trapping's not part of the
Who
game.
invited you to the splash? You guys, none of you are getting invited to private games.
What?
You fucking EV sucks.
Yo, relax. I run the
Goddamn
private
EV
game.
leeches is what you are. You show up to a private game and limp because you know the whale on your left is gonna fucking spaz.
I don't care to play in your private games.
Yeah.
I don't
Have
like your
fun
tone.
staying poor.
Unlike Lamanna,
That's not why he's staying
I
poor.
would like to play in your private games. Where I rate my wallet over my heart, and I would like to be a part of that.
I'm sure you would. Keep min clicking. You'll be just fine.
Hey, I'm part of a semi-private
I know.
click
You're
game now.
really
It's
out
really
there
nice.
doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, we got
Imagine.
we got a WhatsApp group.
Who would have thought Limit would ever go private? I guess it had to some regard.
Yeah, it's not really private.
Yeah, right. It's just
It's-
more organized.
Yeah.
There's a different, like the Bobby's Room mix game or the Crazy Mike's mix game. Pats got to play that a little bit.
That's kind of private-ish.
Yeah. They give you a test run. Then if you win too much, they give you the shit.
You're out.
Mike is a shameless poacher. I almost respect the way he goes about it.
This is what you wanted, right?
Oh my God, that's beautiful. Now we just need Berkey.
We need
Berkey's face over Winnie the Pooh.
We'll have to have a Jesse meme, and then there's just like the normal picture of Jesse, and then there's the sticker picture of Jesse
Oh,
with the hat and the
sipping
martini. With the hat and
The funny thing is, it's not even a martini. I think it's wine. It's like a giant
What is-
glass.
Nah, it's not a wine. Is
What
it
was
wine?
that
But
from?
the visor screams.
That was on the cruise, baby.
Yeah.
That was a good time.
The visor really
I
screams
got
it
you,
should be a
Waffle.
martini.
Yeah, that could still win Picture of the Year, by the way. It happened this year.
It does look like wine.
Yeah.
It looks like wine.
Yeah, I think I was drinking wine.
There's a visor. This is a good picture. I like this. You look like
It's not a wine glass, though, right?
it is.
Oh.
It
Yeah.
is.
I thought it was a
sent, I
martini
sent it
glass.
in that.
Okay, no more talking about things the audience can't see.
Well, I got you. There
oh,
we
okay,
go.
there we go.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Oh, it is a wine glass.
That is
So
amazing.
great.
That is one of my favorite stickers. It's
Imagine
even
not
That's you
being
watching MTG, Jesse.
Imagine
That's
not
you
being engaged to that.
right.
What's
Yeah,
even
no,
better is
lucky
we
us.
had it in our group chat for, I don't know, maybe a year, or since the
the
cruise.
cruise,
And Jesse just saw it yesterday.
That was what I was gonna say. The best part of it was knowing that we had just been freely using it and then inviting Jesse to the group chat.
Like, hey, I just made this sticker, fellas, today.
The WSOP stickers. So
There's so many people where if like they got access to our group chat and realized that they're stickers, it would be such a fucking funny reveal.
Let me. I can put some.
Trust me. I mean, we won't go there, but the Trust Me Bro is the best.
There's so many good ones, you know.
Oh yeah,
I just shit my pants.
We have some honestly amazing stickers. We have a really good team putting these stickers together. Unfortunately, you guys can never see it.
No, I'm getting some of the good ones, like some of the wholesome ones.
Right. Yeah. But there's very few of those.
There we go.
So
Okay.
There's that one. There's Matt. We have.
No, those aren't stickers that really care. Those aren't the ones that we're talking about.
No.
Those are like
there are some that are never to be aired.
Yeah.
I like the
public.
Landon towel one. That was a nice.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That's a very. You could use that in a lot of situations.
You had something dubious planned. You said with the original image, and then we never saw it.
Oh, I wasn't gonna share it with you guys. That was just for a little private time.
Okay.
You're welcome.
You might want to clarify.
Nope. Don't clarify anything.
You, Ash, and a cardboard cutout of Landon in a towel.
Jesus.
Let's go.
What more could you ask for?
The menage a trois. I've always.
What do you got planned for Halloween? Do you got anything in the works? Yeah, you know you're coming Thursday.
I will be on your podcast.
That's right.
Dressed up as Berkey.
No.
Yes.
Somebody does this every year.
Backwards
Every year,
Patriots hat.
Okay, don't do. I promise you.
Oh my God,
Melissa
Boston
did-
Berkey would be amazing.
Yeah, Boston Berkey, baby.
Boston
Let's
Berkey.
Melissa did it last year. She did the best impersonation of me. You're not going to live up to it. It's going to be a huge disappointment. I'm giving you an out.
I would be happy to be a huge disappointment version of Melissa.
There you go.
I feel like that would still be a
give that
decent
a try.
upgrade from what I'm currently working on.
My costume arrives today, I believe, so I'm good to go.
I still don't know what I'm going to do.
Matthew, you don't hand out candy?
I think the kids in our neighborhood go to the church and have like a big gathering because there was like 1,000 cars there last Friday and little spooky kids wandering around in their Frankenstein costumes.
Kids are spooky anyways. They don't need
That's
costumes
true.
for that.
That is true.
I just imagine kids going to Berkey's door and Berkey berating them on which candies they've accumulated so far.
Honestly,
what do you got in there? Snickers?
That's
He's gonna open the door, and look at them like this.
no, that's definitely the play. You lay out the candy bowl and it's like, Snickers, Twix, Kit Kat, Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, and then like Smarty-Arties.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
wow, you
whatever
like Smarties?
whatever asshole takes the Smarties.
Oh, okay.
There it is.
It all makes sense now. Yeah.
Did I not just nail it, by the way?
Yeah. No, it's true. Right. Berkey's like,
Berkey's setting
Where the
traps.
fuck's the
You're
chocolate?
setting traps, by the way.
Yeah.
You're berating hashtag scumbag guapo. and meanwhile, you're
get that
setting
trending,
traps
chat.
for
Get that
kids
trending.
getting candy, bro.
You reach for that Smarty-Arties, you're disowned. Like, hey, don't bother coming back next year, kiddo.
I mean, to be fair, you do need to weed out the Smarty-Arty kids.
exactly.
You
It's like,
got to get them out of there.
clearly they belong on the short bus. Let's do a little segregation here and make sure that they're in the right classes as they move forward because they obviously have no taste in candy.
What about the lemonade stand kids? Do you ever support them?
No,
Melissa loves them.
Yeah, she does.
Berkey's like,
I think it's just one kid. I don't think it's a them.
Well, it's an operation for
Yeah,
sure.
they always got like 4 kids and one kid's running point off to the side. He's on his bicycle every
that'd be
single
sure.
time.
Their location is just very bad. They're.
You gonna go talk to them about business?
I think I might have to have a little sit down.
God, I can so see him fucking pull up. Hey, kids, let me talk to you guys for a second.
Yeah.
I really don't think this is your mom and dad around?
Where's your
This
business
location
plan?
is really not working for you. Do you guys have a business plan?
The kid's all nice. He's like, "Hello, sir. Would you like some lemonade?" You're like, "No, absolutely not."
You have the wrong location.
Yeah, we got to get some canned drinks out here. Nobody drinks lemonade anymore. There's trust issues.
Yeah.
But if you get a drink designed for 18 and up,
Right.
Bro,
in.
talk about trust issues.
Cooler or ghost.
Have you ever seen like late night and like I want to say like
This podcast has gone off the rails.
yeah, so
Go
like
ahead.
Rainbow and like let's
It's
say
the Halloween episode.
I don't even know one of those roads that go like this, Warm Springs, okay?
Sure,
So at night, like say 10, 11 o'clock, there is a tent outside.
It's yours.
Shut up. With fold up tables.
Okay.
Serving food
Okay.
every single night. That's fucking weird to me.
That's weird.
It's
yeah.
literally a tent with tables and they just serve food, and on both sides of the street.
Is it like a makeshift food kitchen
Oh,
or what's
no.
going on?
Yeah.
This is at like the corner of Rainbow and
Yeah.
it's like in a gas station parking lot. I have seen this.
So one's in the Walgreens parking
Oh, yeah,
lot,
the
one's in the
Walgreens.
Bank of America parking lot, and they're right across the street from each other.
Yeah.
I'm eating dinner there tonight.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. If it's regular Texas barbecue, you might catch me.
To be honest with
Yeah.
you, it's probably popping because I've
For
seen
sure.
so many people out there that's like,
Yeah.
damn, this got to be good.
Right.
There's a lot of those spots like
Everyone's
the food trucks,
hustle, man.
food
Everybody
trucks
got to
with sick
hustle.
Tacos.
Yeah, not everybody can fucking play poker for a living.
You know,
should take-
You should
Kings
take
too
notes,
much.
Conrad.
Uh-huh.
Maybe get
the
out there.
the Pinchano Tacos place. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's they just opened. They started as a food truck, and then they opened up the restaurant probably like 2 or 3 years ago. It's one of the best places in town.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like one of the biggest gambles on earth is taking a very successful food truck and then trying to convert it to a brick and mortar restaurant.
You got to be very sure.
Has that happened?
Yeah, you got to be very sure you're good.
Successfully? I don't know.
I'm sure it has, yeah.
I don't get why you would, because
Right, because you can take your truck anywhere.
or you could get more trucks. Like
trucks, right.
the
Trucks,
business
right.
model
That's how
of a
you
food
scale.
truck
Like,
makes so
yeah.
much sense to me,
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
the business model of moving into a giant place
Okay.
that you have to rent out and,
Right.
and air condition
out,
and everything
hear me out.
else.
Screams failure.
Yeah.
Macaroni stand food truck edition.
Okay. Yeah.
Better than restaurant. You might get rich again.
Yeah, man. Listen, macaroni is a stick to your bones kind of. This is a Midwestern.
Listen,
meal.
like everyone always says, like why don't you start a barbecue place? Like if I did, it would be a food truck.
for sure.
Wait,
Would
that'd
be
be
a food
kind of
truck,
dope.
yeah.
A food truck that's just different macaronis, and they have like different meats in them and stuff.
Yeah,
like
like
that'd be
pulled pork,
sick.
Yeah.
like brisket.
I think we're on to something.
It's the Mac stand, but it's not a brick and mortar restaurant because Matt tried that and lost $50,000.
That's right.
It also can't just be mac. You can't just have. You have to separate it too, and just have your normal plates too. You gotta have a little bit of
No,
everything.
just mac, and we add in whatever else you want.
Pulled
It'll be
pork.
like Chipotle, but for mac and cheese.
But you
That's
Mac and cheese
what
is
I
the
lost
base.
my
Funny enough,
ass on.
Jesse, we both on that.
Funny
Business
enough.
model has failed.
Okay, guys, maybe this isn't as good an idea as I'm currently marketing it
It's just
as.
how much mac and cheese can you really eat? Like you can go to Chipotle like 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Some people do, right?
Maybe
but like,
5.
Yeah, but like
I don't
nobody's.
know, man.
I don't think people are going
They have
to eat
brisket
mac and
right
cheese
now.
Brother,
3 times a week.
obesity rates in America are high.
Probably, yeah. You
Not
got a
from
point there. That might be
Chipotle.
a bad
Yeah.
idea.
That's
to
what I'm saying,
eat
but
mac
they
and
would be.
cheese.
Speaking of somebody
Every
that
day.
eats Chipotle every day, I'm pretty sure
But mac and
Francis
cheese
is
should
one
be
of
on the
those.
menu.
Sure.
Pretty sure Francis eats Chipotle every day, or something like that, 5 days a week.
Right.
Because he
that's
plays
what I'm
Nagano?
saying.
Because he plays the
no, not
Venetian.
Nagano. Yes,
Yes,
yes.
Fred.
Anderson?
Anderson, yes.
Francis Ngannou.
It's because he plays the Venetian every day.
Well, they have
Yep.
very similar physiques, those two
Mama's
Francises.
meatballs.
So.
Look at that.
Oh.
That could be me.
I don't like that name.
Mom, it should be Mamma Mia.
This is bad branding.
Yeah, this is really ugly.
I'm not into this branding at all.
GG Mommy.
All right, let's get into some
Was
poker.
that Jeff Schulman on the side of that car?
Nobody, you're dating yourself.
I don't even know who Jeff Schulman is.
Jeff Schulman is the son of the founder of Card Player, whose name escapes me right now.
Barry Schulman.
I was gonna say it might actually also
by the
be
way,
Jeff. Barry
that doesn't
Schulman.
look anything like Jeff. I don't
No,
know why
no,
I even
no.
went for that.
I know who Barry Schulman is.
And you just dated yourself terribly.
I have no idea who that is. I'm sorry to this man.
You know
All
who
right.
Barry is, right?
No, how would he know? Barry has stopped playing poker before Landon was born, but he does own Card Player.
It's kind of scary.
A couple years ago, I made the like day 3 or day 4 or whatever of that 777 tournament. There's like 90 players left out of like 14,000. And Barry and his wife were both at my table.
Oh my
Strong.
god. That
Isn't that
sounds
wild?
real.
Very
Look,
strong.
I just want to say it. I'm not that young anymore.
Oh my God, we don't have time for this.
How do we
No,
always come
but
to this?
no, but I just mean in the sense of like I'm
Midlife
20,
crises.
He was born in the 1900s.
Wow.
like I'm not. I just mean like I'm 25. Like I started this racket when I was 20.
So old.
5.
You realize everybody else gets older as you get older too,
I
right?
didn't mean old like I'm actually old as an old person, but like I'm.
You better
He's
fucking
not a kid anymore.
I'm not.
You better not mean that, bro.
You want to know what's so
I'm 40.
wholesome?
I'm a man.
You want to know what's so wholesome about Landon is that he says these things without a second thought and has no idea that like just by sheer chance and by him being authentically him, he pisses the audience off to a degree that you can't put into words.
Speaking of Men in Black,
You know what this reminds me of? On Russell's 35th birthday, 1 or 2 years ago, he pulls me aside And he's like, hey, man, I remember when you turned 35. And I was like, Jesse's so old. He's like, and now I'm 35. It's like, thanks, man. That makes me feel good. Guess what? I didn't stop aging.
Right. So good.
Right. Not just still 35. All right, let's get into a little bit of poker. The PLO series at Go just wrapped up. Super High Roller Bowl has concluded the 100K buy-in. And one Seth Davies took it down, kind of capping off one of the more monumental high roller years that we've seen. I guess he probably has a couple more events to play. There's a 500K coming up in Bahamas.
That would be something.
That would be something. So Seth actually won the Super High Roller Bowl No Limit Edition earlier this year, and now took down the 100K PLO edition for $1.5 million. Pretty impressive. I got into a bit of a back and forth with Laskowitz in our group chat because
he's got to come on the pod.
Yeah, we definitely need to get Sam out here. He has a lot of opinions, but he was saying like how remarkable this is, and I was like, well, yeah, it's a big deal, but it's also just like very small field. So things like this occurring in high rollers are very probable to happen. Not to cheapen Seth's accomplishments, what I think is a much bigger deal is the fact that he's just on a $10 million run this year, which is, up there with the Fedor Sun run that we saw 2015. Yeah, Adamo,
Ike last year.
There's someone every year. Yeah. There's a breakout player every year.
I remember Seidel had one late in his career too. Seidel a few years ago.
Oh, yeah. It's funny. Everybody remembers that Seidel year because it was fucking epic.
Yeah.
Except Landon, he wasn't born yet.
Well, that was what I was gonna say. It wasn't as recent as you think.
No.
Well, what I'm saying is it was later in his career.
Everything that happened in our lifetime was later in his career.
It was like 10 or 12 years ago.
It was like 2013.
Yeah.
What happened?
He had a monster year in high rollers, like basically when high rollers first became a thing. And the only reason I even remember remotely what year it was, it might have been 2014 or 15, but it was somewhere in that range, is because I was deep in LAPC. So he had taken down the 25K at LAPC, and that event hasn't been a real thing in quite some time, at least 8 years, maybe longer, since that was actually getting any sort of field. But yeah, I think he had a $10 million run in high rollers. It was very early. It might have been, it may have been a little bit closer to the first Super High Roller Bowl 2015. But yeah, it was somewhere in that like 13 to 16 range, which is now feeling like ancient history.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was the 2011 year where he won $3.3 million.
That might have been it.
2011 looks like that
doesn't sound
year.
like a lot, but at the time that was a lot.
If you go to stats on Hendemob, you can see the year and like how much money they've won. Like 2015, he won $5 million.
Probably that year.
2016, he won $5 million.
Oh.
So it was a multiple year thing.
2011, he won $6 million. Sorry, $6.5 million.
Oh, that might have been it then. Yeah,
I miscounted.
that was like unheard of.
Yeah, winning that much money in 2011.
Yeah. And I got 11th in the LAPC that year, so I would have remembered that correlation.
The Hendemob filters it in different locations of the world.
Wait, you got an 11th and a 7th in the LAPC?
Yeah.
There's
nothing but heartbreak, baby.
Europe, the Americas, Oceania, and the rest of the world.
A lot of poker being played in
He
Oceania.
won $3 million in Oceania.
Yeah, a lot of poker. Incredible. You don't even know.
I don't know.
Oceania is Asia, right? Like
must be.
It's all Thailand. I think all those countries.
Is it?
That's what I was thinking. Asia.
I don't know.
I have no idea. I'm
over
not disputing that.
God, I have to go look it up now.
Landon, you know what else Seidel did?
What else did he do?
He was in this old classic film that the Boomers made.
Oceania is Australia.
You might have seen it in your film studies course,
right,
in college. It was called Rounders. He was immortalized in it.
I've seen Rounders. Eric Seidel has the visor, and it's like a little bit like to the
side.
side.
That's
visor.
right.
Same visor Jesse had while he was sipping wine on the cruise.
You gotta have a stand-up. They're playing heads up. Jesse Martini versus Seidel with the red hat.
Seidel passed the torch to me, and then he was not very happy with what I did with the torch.
Time to make a sticker.
You torched the torch?
Yeah, I torched it. Seidel one time, me and Jay Farber and Dave Williams have this like running joke about the second place club, and we were
I hate you so much.
You know how many people Jesse pisses off by being authentically himself sometimes?
Yes.
Great callback. Go ahead.
So we're at this sushi spot that is both the best sushi meal I think I've ever had in my life, and Eric Seidel was just randomly there eating on the side. And I was like, I had a few drinks with me. I was like telling him about the second place club, and I was like, yeah, you should. And Seidel goes, he goes, oh, that's cool, man. What did you get second place in?
Hell yeah.
God, that's so fucking good.
That's amazing.
Oh yeah, brother.
He is the GOAT. He really is.
Was it Naked Fish? Was that the sushi spot?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen you at Naked Fish.
That was my
times.
favorite sushi meal of all
Yeah,
time.
it's great.
Where's Naked Fish?
It's off of Durango and like Flamingo, something like that.
Oh, I've never
Yeah,
been
right
there.
around that area. It was a big. Maybe still is a big poker player spot.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
how many-
it was this spot in LA that we went to, and I won't name it because since then they've done bad things.
Oh.
They're gone.
Heard
Okay.
about things with their friends.
Wow. That was,
Moving on.
that was quite gloomy. Speaking of Men in Black.
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
By the way, are we gonna talk about gambling today and not talk about Bitcoin? Because it's like, do we have to save that?
about
Can we save that for
72
Thursday? And
it's
put
roaring, man.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's exciting.
It's the Roaring 20s.
72-4 now.
Wow.
Come on.
72-4.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
How do you feel,
72,
Landon?
420.
I
Actually.
feel
It's
like
gonna
I
be
need
my
more
exit
money.
liquidity.
I need more money.
You're under 30 years old. I feel like you don't keep $1 in USD.
I got some dollars in USD.
All right, fair enough.
Matt's taking some of them.
They're just in
You
chips.
still need a little bit of dollars in USD.
They're
You
just in
gotta have a
chips.
few bucks on
You
the table to
got-
trap Berkey.
Gotta
with.
have a banana stand. Yeah. Matt's the banana stand in this instance.
Guapo's a little more rich. I mean, if he needed 300 that bad, I would just given it to
you.
him. No, you're right, Guapo. You outplayed me.
Dude, why are you so salty? Get over this. My God.
You'll just never understand. You'll never understand. You'll never understand what it is to put a splashy meetup game together. Be the guy who's entertaining everyone.
Oh no,
and
he understood it perfectly.
Pumping the pots. And then, you got your boy that you thought you invited to just have a good time, maybe get a little drunk, splash around a little bit. No.
drunk.
He's not right. He's trying to win UFC tickets. He's there on the fucking clock, baby. Brought his fucking backpack and everything.
You're proper man about this one.
All right, I'm in the muck. Let's get in the muck.
Oh, yeah. And of course, you spiked that on me.
Guapo's
It's
so
just
flustered at
like,
the moment, and then he's like, in the muck? What do you mean in the muck?
All right, we are back in the muck. We got a user submission, and this person is maybe cooking, but their name is Cooking. It's cooking in it. Cooking it.
Cooking it.
I'm
Cooking
going to set
it.
it up for you. Give me 1 second.
Cooking it, yeah.
Cooking in it.
They're playing, so I thought this was going to be a nice, easy, wizard. We see it's online, 100 big blind, heads up hand.
My God.
But then it gets
Cooking it.
gets a little dicey here with the 3-bet. So we are in middle position, playing 6-handed, and we have ace of clubs, jack of hearts, and we make it $5 at a 1-2 game. We are, like I said, 100 big blinds effective, and then the small blind goes ahead and clicks it to 8.
Oh, great.
Small blind's cooking.
Small
baby.
blind is cooking something up with that size right there.
Great.
Folds back to us. We make the call. The flop comes jack of spades, 9 of hearts, 7 of spades, and they lead 8 into 18. We decide to call. Turn is the king of clubs. They lead again for just right at half pot, 17 into 34. We go ahead and call, and now the river is the 6 of diamonds. And they bring the heat and they pile for about 2.5x pot. And we decide to fold. They were asking, so this seems pretty, maybe some reads.
You got reads?
I don't know. We might.
Well,
Wait.
they acted like they played a lot of hands and they had a super wide range. I mean, I guess when they're
More
clicking
Their
reason,
it-
opponent?
more
is-
reason to want a queen or a 10 in your hands.
right.
And-
Landon, you play a lot online. What do you think the min click?
Yeah, what does that mean?
It's not a thing.
What does that mean? It means I don't know what that means.
I feel like it's at least if it's me, if I ever min click, it's very often I had too many tables going and one popped up while I was clicking something and I hit raise, so I have any 2 cards because I did not mean to hit that button.
That's kind of where my brain was going. Was it may or may not have been a misclick, but the line post of the bet Giga Jam. The Giga Jam was intentional. That's not a misclick kind of thing.
Right.
You know what I'm getting at?
Yeah.
And I would be...
Could be a bailout, though. He could have something like 10-9, Queen-9. Or if it's like Jesse with any 2, now he just has a 10.
Yeah, there's a lot of 10. Yeah.
The board's Jack 9-7, right?
Yeah.
Jack so 9-7. I don't know if 10-9 is going to be just rifling it off like this.
No, but like 10 deuce will.
I think we are reaching...
Okay.
Yeah, I would not pay, but at the same time, that is not.
I don't think river is much of a decision. I imagine if we ever call a jack, like a solo jack, it has to be Jack 10 or Queen Jack.
And you'll have all of those because of the min click pre.
You'll also have them because of the board texture too.
Well, I just mean like Queen Jack off would fold to a normal 3-bet, but now you always call.
Yeah.
Right, so you have these combos in full where you wouldn't have them versus.
Would you guys play
3-bet.
pre-flop differently at all? Would you ever consider just like 4-betting your hands?
I was just turning it into a bluff essentially.
I kind of like
it might not be a bluff if it's a misclick.
Yeah, I kind of like peel. See what happens. See what develops. I think this is just like a normal, like solid, good hand.
What about flop?
I think.
I feel like instinctually raise feels like an option, but maybe not.
I think our suits aren't that great for that as well, and the board change is kind of it's just hard, especially when you don't know what the range that goes $8 pre looks like, you know, just because.
Well, just assume it's a normal small blind range.
Cooking it did consider raising. He said he strongly considered raising the flop.
If it's a normal small blind range, I don't think we get to play that many raises here, just because they have the overpair advantage, and if they do continue, they have a good amount of equity.
Yeah.
Obviously, our hand is solid with Ace Jack, but we could be cooked pretty hard versus
I feel like,
the overpairs. And
sorry, I didn't mean.
You're good.
I do feel like the min click is often, if it's intentional, is often like either aces trying to look weak or something, I don't know, or it's just like a lot of like suited connectors or just like some sort of speculative hand. So you're more incentivized to value raise a weaker offsuit hand like ace jack than.
Yeah, in my brain, yeah, it's either a misclick or I think it's a really good hand. Like I don't even know how much the suited connectors are going to exist for the $8.
Right.
Like, so it's probably a really good hand, or it's just randomness. But then the line post does not feel like randomness.
No, of course not. I don't think we have a decision on the river. I think it's a very obvious fold.
Yeah,
I think the bigger discussion is like where's the line of where you do start to bluff catch.
Yeah, I think that's worth pointing out. I also think just like as played, he probably played the whole thing completely fine.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine that the wizard will agree.
Mm-hmm. He was just trying to get he was just posted this so he could get the check mark.
Right.
Well, like I think on the river, if this was if they 3-bet correctly, I don't think Ace Jack calls the 3-bet pre, right? Ace Jack off.
I bet it's in there some.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely very very like
Ace 10
optimistic
off an easy
at best.
Fold, and Ace Jack off I think folds a lot versus the normal size 3-bet.
By the way, if we're just slightly loose with our opens,
Maybe
we have
4-bet.
all the queen 10 O's here, which is like pretty significant.
Yeah. So when it comes to 8, we're never going to fold, but I think Ace Jack off folds versus the 3-bet initially.
Hold on. I'll look and figure out what the actual frequencies are. I gave it full because of the min click. So I basically just gave a normal response, and then everything that was like mixing, I just gave full because, you know,
I think I would.
You kind of have to.
I would fold pre and not be happy about it. It is what it is. Hijack.
You're saying versus a normal size.
Yeah, versus like 11 big blind 3-bet from small blind.
Right.
Like, it's not a great situation where Ace 10 off folds for the small blind pre. So their 3-bets are like Ace Jack off, Ace Queen off, and then some suited stuff which you do well against, but you just booked by better Ace X and Jack X, or not Jack X. Get the point.
No one wants to get cooked.
No.
All right, so this is hijack small blind, is that right? Let's see
I think it's a
how well Landon knows his ranges. Yeah, ace jack off. Ace jack off starts to fold. Ace queen basically is pure.
Yeah.
You got it.
I know some things sometimes.
That's I don't know what the rake structure is or whatever, but that's assuming 500 zoom or whatever it's worth. But anyway, as played, things change quite a bit.
That's good. Knowing pre-flop ranges, good start. Great start.
Great start.
I've only been playing poker for 4 years.
Yeah, so like as played versus
you had to bring that up, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're the elder statesman of the group. Anyone could see that.
Oh right, that part. Sorry.
As played, the actual size chosen here is quarter, but he went 44, which is fine. Or maybe it was B40. I can't remember off the top of my head. Either way, he went 44. It's fine. So you can see it doesn't really raise. Very, very, very low frequency, and it wants to use a diamond. It wants to use the diamond club combo. We're bordering on having goodish suits.
Well,
it doesn't want to have the heart.
The heart's not great because you want to have the backdoor flush draws that can continue. Or
but it's only the jack of hearts that blocks, so like his jacks aren't folding anyway.
Well, like the ace of hearts blocks ace queen.
We don't have the ace of hearts.
Right. Saying in general, when it comes to having a heart, like why you don't want to use one.
Yeah, but I'm saying like having the jack of hearts doesn't matter because it only blocks the jack, which is always continuing.
I think there are some arguments for raising more in the format that we're actually in because their range might be way more centralized around like 9-10 suited type hands, 8-7 suited, whatever.
Yeah, I think when you face like weird actions now you can kind of get to play the game of exploits. So, okay, so like ace jack off doesn't really raise that much. Ace jack suited also doesn't really raise that much, but you can see that it's making a case for it dependent upon suit. And we do kind of have like reasonable suits with club heart. So we're not really going to lose much, even in theory, let alone in practice. And now it just becomes a question of like, what other hands then do we raise? Because that's the true tricky part about playing flop raises is knowing whether or not you're going to be able to do this with the appropriate amount of hands that aren't just sets and straights.
Yeah.
Right? Like you still want to be able to get in there with the 9-8 suiteds and the ace-8 suiteds. I mean, granted, you know, whenever they're ace-8 of spades, king-8 of spades, these types of hands, they're going to be very easy raises. But like you can see that all ace-8 raises at some frequency. Hearts and spades, much greater.
Yeah, this is the tough part when it comes to playing in position flop raise is finding the bluffs that exist because finding value is pretty simple.
Matt, what is the combo of 9-8 suited that doesn't?
Probably clubs.
Spades
oh no, it's the opposite. Spades too good. So the pair plus got shot flush. I mean, spades too good, but also like
you're not losing money. Like.
The real irony is that like 9-8 of spades would probably be like the first raise candidate that people would think they're bluffing with, and that's really what it boils down to. Is like that's just not a bluff, which is why it's happy to call.
Just have so much equity.
Yeah, it just has a pile and it protects you on future streets where like the other varieties of clubs and diamonds, they're weak.
Like you want them to
they're
fold
actual
two
bluffs.
Overs.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
or
like
even,
the mergy protection kind of.
Yeah. Even just a better 9. You know, if they have a hand like ace-9, no suit, that's going to have a tough time holding on.
Small blind?
Like ace-9 of clubs.
Does that c-bet the flop?
Good question. Mistakes could be made. No, it's pure check.
Right,
it's
that's
like,
why you don't
it's
see
like the
flop.
one that's pure check.
Yeah.
King 9 would be the better example, I guess. But it has to be spades. So yeah.
You don't want to bet a hand that doesn't want to
continue somehow.
Bad versus raise.
Right.
I think this is the spot that's most difficult for me, and I think maybe a lot of people that are in my shoes is like finding these bluffs that don't seem intuitive. I feel kind of bad saying that it's not intuitive, but man, I don't find the 8-9 of what was it, diamonds?
Yeah.
Well, it's like not really
not diamonds. Diamond on board.
It's just kind of like a protection-y charge them to have 2 overs type of bet.
Is it a bluff where if we raise and they jam, do we fold?
9-8 of diamonds?
Like pair plus gut shot?
No, I doubt it.
Right.
We
If
have
you're
too
not
much
really
equity.
bluffing, right? It's like protection, value, merge.
I mean, it's a jam for 200.
Yeah, you just fold
you
probably.
would for sure fold.
Wait, we're 200 deep?
No, it's just
No, but
SPR.
SPR's 10.
Yeah, it's like a protection.
Remember, he
denial.
basically clicked pre.
Oh, you're
Wait,
right.
what
I'm
note
sorry.
are we? I thought you
No,
were
Jesse,
looking at normal
this
3-bet.
is this is
Right,
misclick.
but it's with the misclick sizing. So the
You could
SPR is still
actually-
10.
Oh, okay.
Right,
I didn't
so
know
that's
you could.
That's different.
Oh, I see. You did like an AI solve and reduce the pot size. Oh, okay.
It's
my
not
bad.
What is
standard.
this, 2020? You're still using the database?
No, I just didn't know that you did that, and so
Brother,
it
we're
makes
in
if
the
you have a
streets.
normal 3-bet size, I don't think you ever raise fold.
Oh
9-8.
no! Yeah, of course not. But you would see almost you would, like Landon was saying before. You would see such a low frequency of raising.
Yeah.
Jesse and I are on the same page. We thought it was standard 3-bet size with the,
Right.
but it's not. It's the misclick size,
Yeah,
with lower, deeper SPR,
massive SPR.
Yeah,
Right?
so
10
raise
SPR.
folding, you can't
So
call off.
raising becomes a lot more challenging. I think even to Guapo's point.
Yeah, it is, because you don't really feel like you have a hand that feels like it wants to see more, but instead of doing that, you're opting for the raise to deny and protect, and then when you get jammed on, you're like, oh, okay, I guess my pair's no good anymore.
I think the counter to that too, that's super tricky for a lot of people playing raise here, is that you have like queens that trap pre. You have some really strong Jack X. And I think intuitively, when you have those hands carry forward to post, the mind gravitates towards wanting to put a bunch of money in on the flop when they feel like they're still the best. When you look at the value hands that raise, it's not queens, right? Like queens barely get in there. They're in there a small percentage of the time, and it has to be like the super suit. Yeah. Same thing with like the Jack X. Like King Jack raises more than Ace Jack, but even still, it's not really a ton. It's mostly leaning on like your 2-pair plus type of hands. Man, you know, like you need the Jack 9s in there to be raising. You need the 10-8s, which even against the misclick, against the misclick we should have it. But
that's what I was gonna say, and it's really the in between of why it's so fragile and sims are what they are, because I don't know who's flatting the min click with queens. To 8, like it goes 5, 8.
Right,
so now you have queens in here, you have ace king in here.
Yeah.
Like your range is going to be so much different, probably practically, than what we see right here.
Yeah, that's true.
This output isn't going to give you the full story.
Right. Yeah, this is just like the best we can do with the information.
Right,
given.
and even that's like, okay, maybe queens 4 bets pure, maybe jacks 4 bets pure, because you see the misclick. Like, okay, you're just going to run with their aces. Like they trapped me. Like they guapoed in the meetup game. They got me.
Never living it down for the rest of your life. It's gonna be on his tombstone. I trapped Berkey for $300.
It's just a really tough in between to play of like this isn't a book line. This hand is not a book.
But as played, it was a book line for what it's worth, minus pre.
Yeah.
Right. So like that's why I think call is a very viable option, because you aren't straying that far from theory, and you just have a hand that wants to do that type of or take that type of action. King of clubs turn, we face half pot, which again seems quite reasonable. I can't imagine anything's going to happen with ace jack other than call. So basically it's mostly a block on this card.
A good range card for a small blind. Kind of equity pushing a little bit.
You're saying that's why they choose block?
Yeah, it looks like that's the case, right?
Yeah, I think it's more I think it's interesting because it looks like small blind has a huge amount of advantage here and still maintains the betting lead. So I would have thought the 67 would come through here at some frequency, but it's 0.
I think it's because of the way that the hijack calls versus the 44. When you look at their range, there's a lot of pairs and tiny cards. So when the king comes,
the king just decimates it.
Yeah, you don't have to go very big, and you're trying to force more indifference from the tiny stuff, because a lot of their pair plus is never going to fold anyways and has a lot of equity, where your really good hands and like your strong 1 pairs and your strong second pairs kind of become ugly depending on the river that can change a lot of stuff, like a 10, a queen, an 8, a spade, things along these lines.
So if you go big, they just fold way too much, or you get wrecked by queen 10.
Yeah, I mean, to demonstrate kind of what Landon's talking about here, you can see it in the equity graph. There's just a huge disparity here in the middle. So it's like if you go big, this all has no decision, and this represents the vast majority of imposition's range. And the bottom also has no decision. So really all that happens is you start to get these really strong hands that have like 75% plus equity, like King Jack plus, to just be happy to put a bunch of money in the middle.
You just never want to give your opponent that easy of a decision.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Equity charts are important. Got to figure out the equity charts.
Yeah, and it's like, you have a pretty strong dense range here. You don't want to just like start pounding money in the middle with aces, but you also don't want to bet fold them. You don't really want to just check and not get full.
This is like a huge mistake that you see at low stakes all the time, where like people will just, the board will get scary or something will happen, and they'll just like pile a whole bunch of money in, and then you just have like this is an easy decision to fold. But they're like, oh, I just want to end the hand right here. So, you know, it's just like, well, you're just losing so much value that way.
Yeah, so this is...
You're going to have to remove the block size.
Yeah, this is probably a bit of an error from out of position, so our response will be maybe a little bit less intuitive. So now he's just supposed to be playing a ton of check.
It's basically just funneling money in for impositions middle of range that does very well against this size.
Right, yeah. So now, like, to Landon's point before, like, when he does choose B50, assuming that he's at all constructed, this is a very particular subset of hands. This is a lot of, like, pair plus draw, a lot of 2-pair plus.
A lot of good hand.
Yeah. Good hand, strong equity, like, some nothing, like, maybe ace-4 of spades, like some high-low type shit.
It's not a human kind of play to take like a second pair or something along these lines and go B50.
Right.
It's just going to be a lot of strong one pair, strong, maybe ace-jack, maybe.
Look at our ace-jack just hating life against B50.
Right,
I was thinking I might just fold turn.
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing, right? Is that because of the size chosen and the way that ranges are funneling, what happens is you see quite a polarized response. So it actually starts to raise a fuck ton. And then hands like ace-jack just become indifferent leaning fold, which does not feel very intuitive, I don't think. But going back earlier, like we mentioned with like what would you call river with? Well, it's the hands that are naturally there. Like queen-jack, you can see just continues.
Have so much better hands with
like,
equity.
I mean, some queen-jack raises, of course, but like whatever, it's in there in some capacity. Jack-10, both suited and offsuit are in there pure. So those types of hands are going to arrive on the river for you. Jack-9 is now playing trap, or I guess protecting your calling range a bit.
Yeah, just
not quite good enough to put all the money in, but like plenty good enough to call 2 streets.
I guess like board clarity, you know?
Yeah.
Like you raise and they call, and then the river's a 4-liner. Now you're scared about it.
Right.
If you call and the river's clean, you're happy.
Right.
River's bad, you're sad. But
yeah, and you can see hands like 10-9 now start to become our bluffs.
Yeah.
So they don't wait to river to bluff then, or to even call down with good blockers. They just start to bluff now. So that's a key concept that I think a lot of people miss, is when you're supposed to have a high frequency raise here, you got to start, I hate to use this word, but you got to start like merging a bit with hands that feel very natural as calls that now need to shift into the range node, or raise node rather.
With deeper SPRs, that is.
Correct,
right?
yeah.
Because you normal 3-bet pot stuff, you'll probably just want to realize, and because jam does not do you any favors at all.
Right.
But with the deeper SPR, you do want to have some raise folds, and you want to block their best hands. You want to block sets. You want to block straights.
Yeah, you can think of this in one of two ways. You could either think of it as a misclick pre, or you could think of it as like a 300 big blind 3-bet pot.
These ace-5 suited, ace-6 suited here is raise folding, correct?
Yes, for sure. I don't even need to look.
Yeah, I know. I didn't think it's...
Those are hard to find, man. Like finding a flush draw and being like, just kidding. Like I'm not going to see what the river is. I'm just going to raise now. It feels like very non-human, non-intuitive kind of.
Well, because you have the option to just call and make a spade.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like why would you forego that?
Right.
In order to try to raise now, it just seems like very.
And truthfully, most don't.
It seems very like silly.
Yeah,
right.
It's just not intuitive.
Well, the thing is, most don't, and therefore they don't come anywhere close to this 22%.
It's just sets and 2-pair.
Right.
And straight.
Right. Which need to raise, and that's another big part of it. Like finding the 8-7 suited here pure. Like, come on.
I mean, that's nice though.
It's super nice.
Yeah.
It's a really, but you already have to know that this is a highly
it's sensitive.
High frequency raised node.
Yeah.
Right. You have to recognize the equity distribution of, okay, he bet, and even though it's only half pot, it's a very polarizing bet. Therefore, my response has to repolarize because I have way too much middle to try to juggle. And if I start calling all of my ace jacks and all of my jack 10s and all of my 10-9s, I'm just bleeding because now your call frequency ends up being like 70%.
I will say this is like one of the reasons why being in position is so great is that you force the small blind to play smaller sizes, because if you start trying to price your hands, you allow them to be able to not just realize their equity, but also bluff you when they miss because the board changes in their favor.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's fair. All right, 6 of diamond river. I don't think jam is going to be really a thing, but it is. Mm-hmm. Wow.
They have straights themselves.
Yeah, it comes in a lot. 16%. So basically, you either choose a block size or the 250% pot size. Doesn't really go anywhere in between. Not using like full pot and a half, or anything like that. It just yeets it.
You have sets or you have thin value.
And yeah, as we suspected, Jack 10 suited's like the only one that gets Jack 10 off, I guess, a little bit too, and then Queen Jack. So these are the one pair type of holdings that we'll see. A little bit of King Queen.
Even King Queen is ugly because they're bluffing with the Queen in their hand.
Right. Yeah, the 10 seems to be a bit preferred, although Queen Jack is a fair amount of mixing, I would say. King 10, kind of same idea, but yeah, the one pair hands need a Queen or a 10. That's clear. Any Ace Jack that's made it this far is a fold. Even some of our two pair, like King Jack, is indifferent.
Yeah.
And the reason you want to have a queen is because
we're blocking.
You need to block the nuts. I mean, you're facing 250%.
Yeah.
Like even 10s call at about the same frequency as Jack 10. To give you an idea.
I think when it comes to the blockers, it's very sensitive on what sets does the small blind have on the end, and they're going to have jacks more than kings, it looks like. Right. So you want to call Queen Jack blocking jacks more than King Queen blocking kings.
Yeah.
But
is that because because kings bet small on the river a lot? Is that what's going on? I
yes,
missed it.
because the kings want to bet smaller most of the time, just because they block so much of the
kings and jacks both bet small about the same frequency though. It looks like kings just gets here through this line a lot less often.
Well, you also
but significantly less often, right? It's like maybe a 20% delta.
Yeah, and all these like numbers are so like then the combo frequencies are so fragile too. Where if this guy is just doing the same thing with jacks as he is with kings, which is probably the case, it's not going to change that much when it comes to which hand you call more or call less. You know. But that's what makes poker hard. That's what makes defense really hard in this game. You know, you have to start looking at some hands and be like, oh, if I don't call enough of the time, I'm going to get theoretically ravaged. But at the same time, are they bluffing enough that I'm actually getting ravaged?
Right.
And this is probably not, you know?
Yeah.
But it's a good hand. I think that the turn fold is pretty illuminating to me, but it makes sense when your lower side cards become better than your top card just because of the equity that you have with it. So you can shift it where if you didn't pick up equity, Ace Jack calls because you want to make two pair with the Ace Jack.
It's the turn is a very unique situation where any of your or very few of your one pair hands can hold water to call twice. Right? So it's like really it's just Queen Jack and King Queen, and they're folding more than they're calling on most rivers, unimproved. So effectively, what that kind of does to your range and the way that you distribute between continuing and not continuing is, can I draw to something, anything, even when I have showdown value? And of course, like a lot of that comes with how you choose to carve out your raising range as well. But that you're right. That's very unintuitive to think of like a hand like Ace Jack is not being strong enough because its draws aren't really strong enough to improve.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially when he's bluffing with hands like, I guess like Ace Queen. Well, Ace Queen doesn't really matter. You dominate that. But actually, that does matter because you block that hand from being there now.
Yeah, that's what makes poker cool. It's
important.
You can like sandbox it, but even though you can sandbox it, doesn't mean you actually have the answer. You have an answer. Where this whole stuff, all of this might change depending on the range you give pre-flop for what you think the misclick is.
Right.
So if you think the misclick is certain subset and the theory range is a subset of normal.
The thing is though, like it still may not change that much because of the follow through. So if we gave him any two card range,
that's way different.
No, I understand that the overall line work would be relatively different, but if we gave him any two cards on the flop and then he followed through with half pot and all in, I think by the time you got to what was half potting the turn, you would see a comparable range construction as if he had a normal pre-flop range and then half potted the turn. Yeah. I guess what I'm saying is like just because he's too wide in one node doesn't mean that it necessarily carries through in a low frequency node.
Yeah, I was thinking the opposite of thinking that the min click is more polar.
Oh, super
of like
nutted.
Really good hands. And that's going to change the defense frequency a lot. And Ace Jack might just start folding the turn because when you do improve, you actually don't improve.
Correct. Yeah.
You know, so
I think that's pretty fair.
It's just that in between of how you view or see the misclick and how you want to approach it, just because there is more merit to playing call fold if you think he's too wide, because the king is a good card perceivedly for the out of position player. Yeah. Even though they min-clicked and have an E2 card.
As played, I think he gets the green check mark.
Yep.
I think the bigger takeaway
seems good
that he could have is probably studying that turn node a lot more.
That's a hard one to find.
That's what I mean.
But that's part of...
It's fortunate almost that he has ace-jack, but he probably doesn't know to fold there. I didn't intuitively know to fold there. And then moreover, like just realizing all of the raising you need to do even against half pot.
That's
game. Probably worth a lot of bottom line at the end of the day. If you guys want to submit your own in the muck, hit hashtag Discord in the chat. Head over to our little community. You can also find it at onlyfriends_pod. It's the pinned tweet. Click on that link. Join our Discord community. We have an entire forum dedicated to in the muck. Feel free to make a submission. Prefer heads up pots if possible. The tortoise will get you on air because that's what the tortoise does. Mm-hmm. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you think about Russ and if he's cooking.
He's cooking.
About Jesse and his lack of NFL knowledge.
I'm cooking.
All the good stuff. That's going to do it for us. Be sure to head over to academy.solveforwhy.io if you guys are interested. We're going to be closing up registration soon for that. Those dates are, I believe, the 14th. So we're not sure if we're doing this one yet or not, but we're definitely on for the 15th through the 18th. Be sure to check that out. We'll be back tomorrow, noon Pacific, as always. I don't know if we have a special guest or not. I don't even know what day today is, to be quite honest.
It's Tuesday.
We're going to bring you a show, though.
Tuesday. 1 week from the election.
Okay.
Holy shit.
Let's not get so excited.
I can't help
We'll be here tomorrow. And this Weekend Warrior will be brought to you by Polymarket. I can assure you that.
That's right.
All right, boys. We'll see you guys then.
Peace.
Peace.